Thank you for joining me on this October 5th, 2024. I believe it's the 5th. Yeah. It's Friday, whatever day that is. It's hard to tell time these days as things are moving so fast and exponentially. You know, these are interesting times we're living in. I don't have to tell you. You could just turn on your social media and see the shifts that are happening right now. And today, on Friday, October 5th, the moon is in Scorpio at 15 degrees. So we've got what's called a grand water trine happening with Pisces and Saturn and Mars in Cancer, with the moon right next to Venus in Scorpio. So let's break it down as far as what the planetary energies are and how the trines are influencing these energies within us. So we know that in grand trines in astrology means harmonious energies or fluid or flowing energies. So we've got the moon right next to, or what's called conjunct in astrology, Venus, which is our love and money, how we love, how we generate currency, what we value, in Scorpio, which rules transformation, the underworld, things that are hidden. It rules power structures, things literally underground, because it rules old money. And old money is usually derived from resources, right? From resources that are underground, such as oil, such as crystals, right? These things that are mined underground are very valuable, which would denote Plutonian energy or Plutonian currency. So we've got the moon right now, which houses our memory, which reminds us, which affects the tides, affects the ocean. It also affects our emotional states. Our moon is right next to Venus. So we're really feeling this push, this energetic push vibrationally with Venus in Scorpio. And we're looking at the shadow. We're harmoniously being able to look at the shadow of the imbalances that have been happening with the money structures, with power. There are things that are hidden underground, with the resources that are hidden underground, including the findings of human trafficking that has been underground. That is also a very Plutonian, old money, old system, slavery system that has also been part of this culture and part of this world. But because it's been hidden, we didn't know to the extent of where these structures were housing themselves. And I don't know if you guys can comment. Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm wearing this microphone. I just want to make sure that you guys are listening, that you can hear me clearly. And thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for joining this conversation, this important cosmic conversation that we need to be having as a collective, because we are moving into the age of Aquarius, right? So Pluto is going into Aquarius November 19th. And it's been in its shadow. It had to go back into Capricorn. Capricorn, we know, rules big business, power structures. It rules top-down governing systems, the pyramid, right? The pyramid technology, or the Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy, whatever that is. It's been operating in a top-down structure. So Pluto is coming in and changing that structure. But it had to show you why those structures had to change and how corrupt. So whenever a planet gets to a sign at its last degree point, which is 29 degrees before it shifts signs, it's called the anaretic, or the critical degree. It's almost like the most concentrated part of that energy, that planetary energy. And what it's showing us is the underbelly, or the dark side of these power structures that are falling. So the reason why they're falling is because they're corroded. They're not sustainable anymore. So they have to fall away. They have to collapse. And so we're in the middle of watching and witnessing this collapse, but on a mass scale, right? So the hidden part is that these power structures have been collapsing in the dark, underneath the energy forms, underneath where people, those of us civilians in the world, right, couldn't really see the things going on behind the scenes. And we still can't. Although with Aquarius, now Pluto moving into Aquarius, which rules technology, which rules collective energy, which rules the bigger parts of humanity, we're starting through technology to discover these hidden structures, even underneath, the buildings, the power structures that have been involved in these very corroded, very antiquated, foundational aspects where our country was originally founded on, because the last time Pluto was in Capricorn is when this country was formed, 1776, right? So that time period, we're starting to see that the foundation of the United States was built on inequity, because a lot of the governing bodies who created the Constitution, which does have many beautiful structures within it, if it's adhered to, if it's honored. But we know the foundation of this country was not honorable because there was still slavery. There were still slave owners trying to claim everyone was free, right? So you see the paradox and the divine polarity that has always been since the beginning of this country, since the founding of this country. So with that knowledge, or with that understanding or awareness, or again, these are things being brought to light that we could have never even conceived. So with these light structures, how is it going to change our reality? How is it changing the way we see our country, the way we see ourselves, and the way we see how through over time and space, these systems keep getting more and more corroded, keep getting more and more distorted, and how long it's been going on. So we're starting to see that these beings of power, they had to fall. They had to fall. And we're creating the fall within ourselves the more we decide to see what's really going on, the more that we allow ourselves, as painful as it is, and as much, again, as our cognitive dissonance doesn't want to view, this trine today, especially with the moon in Scorpio, the moon, again, holds memory, but it is the things that are hidden, it's our emotional nature, and in Scorpio, it's the alchemist, it's the transformer. So by facing these emotional, shocking revelations that have probably shocked your nervous system, and continue as you think about and have compassion for the parts of society that have been very the women, the children, the elderly, the innocence of this world. We're seeing truly how they've been treated, how we've been treated, how we have allowed this system through consistent corruption and money and the love of money, right? And again, it's all a program. We're taught that. The money game, the necromancy with the dead presidents, all this is a type of program. And not knowing that we are so programmable, we allowed it. Our ancestors allowed it because, again, forgive them for they know, forgive us for we didn't know, right? In a way, it's again, there's no victim, but yet there is, right? So this is the polarity. You're a victim until you step into your power and realize that through our consciousness was commandeered to create our own prisons. And it was from the very beginning, from when we were first born, from the first injections, from the first programs we were watching as children, the cartoons, the food, the air, watching the trails of these substances chronically being induced into our systems, into our soils, into our foods. And then we wonder why we had these distortions, right? Then we wonder why we can't understand or see, because we've been drugged. We've been dumbed down through our education system, through our frequency, not understanding how programmable we are and how frequency and vibration and sound directly influences our cells. Go check out cymatics on YouTube and you can see, when certain vibrations happen, it shifts your cells. I've actually seen that in mushroom ceremonies before when I was microdosing with mushrooms several years to recalibrate, right? Because I realized this has been a process of awakening for me since my son was born back in 1999. And in 2003, I really had a crisis of the soul, if you will. And I've been on this healing journey this time. And in 2003, I really had a crisis of the soul, if you will. And I've been on this healing journey, this healing path ever since. And so with that, I've had to face some things within myself, face some things within society, you know, and being willing to look at the dark, being willing to see those aspects that maybe people didn't want to look at, right? And back in 2020, there was a big reveal about what's been happening, in, you know, especially with the children, especially as far as trafficking, especially as far as the drugs and the vax and the experimentation that we've been on since we were children. And, you know, the funneling of money that, you know, the corporation has been running the United States with, that we have never been free citizens back from 1913 when the Federal Reserve was enacted, Jekyll Island, privatized banking. I mean, again, it depends on how deep down the rabbit hole you want to go. These are things that I've been exposed to and really aware of for a while now. Straw man, you know, look at these things. Be willing to look at, and if you've never heard it before, or these statements, or what I'm talking about, there's a lot of content now, because what I was received in meditation, I've been deeply meditating. I just took the Silva method, which is a way to control my mind, to actually get my brain waves. I've been able to figure out through these series of techniques and intentions to harmonize my brain waves so that I can get from beta to alpha to theta. And in these programmable brain state waves of brain state, I can program myself, right? So that's what I've been really working on, is reprogramming my mind to dissolve what I think I'm seeing. Sorry guys, microphone. To dissolve what I think I'm seeing, right? It's to see the truth and not just what I've been projected to see. And it's a process, man. You got to unlearn to relearn, and so you've got to take these deconstructions. You have to deconstruct yourself, and it's going to be through education. That's why a lot of our brothers and sisters are homeschooling right now. We're getting off this matrix grid system that, again, we've been very programmable. So it's with the Plutonian energy moving into Aquarius now, it's the top-down power structures that are collapsing, so the power is being redistributed. The dams of our currencies have broken, if you will. So there is going to be, and has been, a redistribution of wealth, but we had to see how corrupt this system has been operating. And then to really, when these tragedies that are happening, you know, in Florida and North Carolina, we know what's going on there. And the thing of it is, it has been going on, but we just didn't see it. We needed a monumental disaster such as this to see exactly how broken our system has been. And we needed it. We needed a sort of slap in the face. And a lot of us have known, especially, I mean, guys, I got off the grid back in 2018 when I was going through this awakening. I said, shit, I can't live off this money system anymore. I didn't want to live off the dead presidents and put my currency towards that, knowing something was corrupt. I really have been doing a deep dive with the money game, again, with, you know, being a corporate citizen and what that means, you know, going back to the Social Security card and the number, and how we're basically cattle on the stock market, you know, that these trusts have been taken out, bonds that were created when we were born were our Social Security number. So you guys can check all of this out, okay? Again, Pluto in Capricorn at the last degree points is showing you all the things that were hidden. Whatever rabbit hole you decide to go down, that is your sovereign choice to go down it. You know, talk to your soul self to ask, what do I need to know right now that will benefit myself and humanity? No matter how hard it is, I'm willing to see. And take your shoes off, go ground before you do it. Before you ask for these things, hydrate, make sure you have plenty of sleep. This is also another thing, that because we've been systematically drugged and the chemical warfare since we were injected as very young children, we have to clean it up, right? So now that we know, I mean, the power of this human vessel is incredible, and the ability to regenerate. Again, check out Joe Dispenza. Check out Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden. These are some of my teachers that I've been following that talks about these things and actually has scientific proofs about the placebo effect and the nocebo effect and the power of the mind to create healing within the body. And so this is part of the Great Awakening too. It's like, wait, we don't need pharmaceuticals the way we thought we did. We can actually, through intention, through managing the mind, again, going to brainwave states, heal your own body. I mean, is it possible? I don't know. I feel like everything is up to be questioned right now. Because if these ideas, these beliefs are collapsing, then what is possible? And so going back to the meditation, I'm in free flow right now, but I wanted to explain how I got into the meditation state through this alpha going into beta and theta, or alpha and theta, is that I heard really clearly it's already done. And what we're doing is we're watching what has to be seen, and then we're going to be seeing behind the scenes also how we've been cleaning it up. So yes, there is corruption. Yes, the program is, or the avatar or the game, the simulation, whatever you want to call it, is now coming to its finality, right? This chapter of our consciousness is shifting because these solar flares, and you guys know, you can check it out. We have a mass coronal injection heading full forward straight for the planet. We've got another series of storms that have been brewing because of the solar activity, because of some of it was some of it's nature and in her natural cleansing processes, some of it's not, and you know what I'm talking about. So with this series of the perfect storm events that are happening, with the square with Saturn and Jupiter, but this trine also in water that's helping us tap into and connect to our emotions, the emotions that maybe we did not want to feel. And with Mars in Cancer, it's anger, it's frustration, it's call to action for security, it's call to action for homeland support, right? Whatever is home to you, whether it's your home state or your actual home, people are in this need to protect. Like a mother, I'm thinking like a mother bear. If you've ever watched a video of a mother bear protecting her cub, there is no more furious of a creature, I think, than that protective bear medicine mode, right? So you're seeing our brothers, sisters in the Appalachians, you're seeing our brothers, sisters in Florida, you're seeing our brothers and sisters across the country now that are pulling together because of this tragedy, more so than ever. The bigger the tragedy, the more we unite. And that's what I think and I feel that we needed at this time, whether we wanted it or not, to this mass level. Of course, we didn't want this, but is it necessary for us to unify, to really pull in our resources, to get that Mars in Cancer to become that mother bear, to become that energy of protection to our children, to our environment, to our pets, to our nature, to the trees, to the water. I mean, we love this earth, and we're seeing now through devastation how much we love this earth, how much we love each other. We took each other for granted because we were caught in this matrix system of the grind of going to work, paying all these bills, being distracted with all this bullshit. Meanwhile, our energy has been used and looged. And again, these are words, if you look at, we're in a spiritual warfare, and I don't want to believe it either. But I'm not going to not look anymore. And I'm still riding the waves too, guys. I'm still riding the waves of anger and frustration. I get pissed off, and then I get righteous rage. And then I want to, like, I've got this, I've got Black Moon Lilith and Capricorn, second house, man. I just want to, it's like, what can I do to just fix this? To just, take the bad guys out and be the hero, right? And then, of course, if you create a villain, then you're going to be, if you're the hero, you're always going to create a villain. And that doesn't seem to work either, because we're all in this together. There are only certain people in government that are villains. I want to say the bad guys. Those narcissists that were only self-serving, those business-minded politicians, they're being cleared out. It's already done. I was shown it's already done. We're just watching the remnants, the aftermath of this. And it has to play out the way it's playing out, because we need to see ourselves in unity more than ever. And so as this continues, as we start seeing how we're depleted and that we're not getting the help we need from Big Brother or the father figure anymore, which would be governing systems. Because this is also Saturn and Pisces. We are being called to mature. So it's kind of like when you grow up and you move out of the house, right? You don't need mom and dad to take care of you. For the longest time, you needed mom and dad, aka government, to take care of you, right? Because we were children. We didn't know how to take care of ourselves. And there's still parts of our society that still need that support. And I'm all about helping, the children and the elderly people. But at the same time, there is a maturation process in this country. Again, Pluto was in Capricorn when this country was founded back in 1776. So here we are. This astrology teaches about cycles. We're in this cycle again where Pluto is in Capricorn, starting a whole new power structure. But we're seeing where the foundation, if you're a slave owner, you cannot claim freedom for all beings and create a constitution with that intention if you were not, in fact, embodying that energy. So it's time for us to see that the foundation was improperly laid. It was distorted, and it has been distorted. And this idea about the patriotism of this country and what we believed and how many men and women we've sacrificed in our military in the name of this patriotism, of this corrupt foundation, that's what's shifting. That's what needs to be brought to light. And then through the awareness, we can actually regrid the foundation with a new constitution, a new awareness. And through Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, it's moving, going to higher air, going to the galaxies, right? Going past the Earth's grid and perhaps encountering other freedom zones, not just in the United States or other countries that were explored. Now it's about other galaxies, other planets that are being explored. And so the colonization, the way it was created 250 years ago, cannot continue. That's not part of our expansion anymore. Through freedom, through Aquarius, it wants freedom. It wants unity. It wants collaboration and connection. It's not about the competition model anymore, which is very much Mars. But Mars in Cancer now wants unity, especially with this grand trine we're having with Saturn, our structure, the moon next to Venus, money and love, moon emotions, and then Mars, our action. So the action you take today, right now, will influence your future. Now, I'm not saying not to be angry. Feel your righteous rage. Feel your frustration. And if you need to go out and you're called to go help in some way, deliver food or go to your neighbors or help clean up or just sit and meditate, whatever it is you're called to do, process that anger. Mars, Cancer, process that righteous rage, because you have a right to be angry. You have a right to be frustrated, absolutely. But it's not going to serve the bigger picture anymore because we're getting fed that dark energy. It's luge, it's food for the entities and the energies who are creating this conflict or chaos, right? Those aspects of us that are created by our division. So feel it, let the anger, and then move through it. Like maybe get some boxing gloves or go do jumping jacks or, get it out of your physical system, because again, what you put your focus on is what you're going to create. And right now we're in this window of opportunity with the sun, not just the sun in Libra, which is bringing balance and showing balance. The sun reveals, right? It's the light that shines. And with the light that's shining in Libra, it's showing where we have been out of balance. And to bring justice, we've got to do it from the inside out. So it's an inward out process. So you've got, what I'm being told is that if you're going to shift the energy and project a new reality, which is what we're doing as avatars in this simulated game, we're projecting. And we've been projecting, but our projections have been commandeered, and it's been like a sleight of hand, right? It's the great magician energy. Well, all that's crumbling away. We're out of Oz, and we've seen what's behind the curtain, and it's just a fucking dude, right? It's just this little old guy who just was a snake oil salesman because they wanted to make money. I'm done with that storyline. That's as a collective, as a human collective, we're done with that storyline because we have to evolve out of this matrix, this loop that we've been in for who knows how long. Our realities are the way we've been taught about how we originated. We are a culture of amnesia. We don't know who the hell we are or where we originated. You got lots of channelers and people out here telling you where they think you're from, but nobody really fucking knows. Come on. Unless you do the inner work, unless you allow your visualization to tune into your particular frequency and allow that story to be told to you as an individual. And then if you want to share that story out and see who else resonates with the story, so be it. That's your truth. But there's so many truths woven with the lie through language, through misappropriation of speech, of the spell casting, right? Of the false light. It's pretty fucking brilliant, really. I mean, I have to respect the dark because it's a brilliant game. But it's a game that collectively we're not going to play anymore. We're done. We're done being the victims, and we're done being the perpetrators and the addicts. Because we're really a culture full of addicts if we're not addicted to sugar or television or junk food. And again, it's not our fault. It's the only options that we're given, right? When you're lied to and you think you're doing the right thing for yourself and your kid, and then you realize you're not, that you thought that this big brother or this father figure, which is the government, had your back, and then you realize that that's not the case at all. This is the forgiveness part. This is where we're going to have to conquer our own righteous rage. Funnel it, convert it, transmute it. Use it as fuel to make this world better, to heal this planet. Go through your process. Get your bitching out. Get your anger out. Get your frustration out. Let it move through you like water. Let it cleanse you like water, but don't hang on to it. Don't let it stick to you like black goo, because that's what they want. That's what's going to feed the dark energy. The parasitic energies get fed off of fear and frustration and anger. So feel it, let it out of your nervous system, but then let it the fuck go, because you don't want to feed anything else outside of you that's been commandeering your energy. This is true sovereignty. You got to understand your body, your mind, your spirit. Get into your frequencies of harmony as much as you can. A lot of us maybe never have tapped into harmony because we were born into a war tribe. I know my clan, my family, a lot of us were warriors. And I believe in past lives. And in many past lives, I've warred. I know how to warfare. I'm still learning peace. I'm still learning how to bring peace to myself and forgiveness. This is part of my dharma and why I've come in, or karma, I should say, and come in to learn in my lifetime. Again, you don't have to agree with any of this. I'm just speaking my truth in my experience in this avatar of my spiritual nature that I've been intimately seeking and getting to know since I was a very young child, asking the bigger questions. And again, getting off the matrix back in 2018 where money wasn't a distraction. I didn't have a lot of money. At any given time, I've had less than $200, $300 in my bank account since 2018. Because I knew the money wasn't it. And I knew I had to give up the love of money, or always having to be chasing the money. As a single mom, you're always having to chase it. Anyway, I knew cultivating, curating my spiritual practice, I could not be distracted by chasing money. And I could not work for organizations or things that did not honor my spirit or humanity. And so it's been a lonely road, honestly. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here right now, because seeing how the money is changing and how the currency is changing, and the currency had to be released. The dams had to be broken, metaphorically, because that's what's been storing our, what's the word I'm looking for? Hoarded, that's right. Those that were hoarding our energy and our currency. It had to fall, and it's not pretty. We had to see this collapse. And those that have lost their life in the thousands, not hundreds, thousands in this, will not be in vain. It will not be in vain. Because they came here, I feel, energetically sacrifice their lives so that we can see what's been really going on. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. It's what's bringing me peace, because I don't know how to necessarily process unnecessary loss of life like that. But on a soul level, the bigger beings of us know exactly what we're doing. And I have to see it that way. And I have to honor everybody that has transitioned during this process and who are still in the process of transitioning, so that we can see how deep this corruption is, so that our future children, our great-great-grandchildren, the beings of us who are coming, don't have to do this anymore, don't have to be in this slave system anymore. I don't have all the answers at all. I just know what I'm doing moment by moment to do my part to heal my mind, to heal my heart, to express the righteous rage when it comes in, and then to channel it to do good. Whether it's by, cleaning or going to help somebody or writing something or using my creative life force energy. I don't want to perpetuate the negative anymore. This is why I'm being told to come up here and even revamp astrology, right? I'm willing to let everything go of what I've been taught and just go back down to the basic fundamentals of what I know to be true. And I get that from the inside. I get that through my practice of meditation and clearing my mind and not allowing myself to be distracted. I would invite you to do the same, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, to harmonize yourself as much as you can and to process all this energy as much as you can, and then to redirect and focus on what you want. What do you want to see? After all this destruction and all the anger has dissipated, what can be left? What can we create? What is the highest, best version of humanity that can show up after this mass destruction? It had to come and take it all away. That's what the solar eclipse is just off. It's eclipsing. It's taking it away forever and ever. Not to be returned. It's like anything you stick in a fire. It's never going to be the same. It's gone. So there's a parts of our consciousness and our power structures. It's gone. Sent back to the ocean. Just like all the material items represented through Capricorn, which is physical matter. All Earth is physical matter, and represented by astrology anyway. Okay. Taking a sacred breath, I just wanted to share some energy and love and perspective as we are all traversing our own experience and our own response to what's happening. But I would invite you to please consider that you are creating this reality. I am helping to co-create this reality. Unbeknownst to how this mind works, not realizing how gosh darn powerful we are and how what we project will actually manifest into physical matter. I would humbly ask that feel your feels, but point to and look to the direction of what you want. After you feel your feels, after you go through your mourning process and get pissed off, can you please quickly, respectfully, clear your mind, do your work, cleanse your body, get rid of the toxins, clean up your vessel so you can clean up your mind, and then point that powerful mind to what you want. Because we are powerful. We're not taught. We were taught we were born into sin and all the other bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. So all that's collapsing too. It's a choice point. I'll be right there, Tanner. My dog's trying to get in the house. It's a choice point. You can choose right now to feed the anger or to feed the love and forgiveness. And we need you to feed the love and forgiveness. Feel the anger, yes. Don't bypass that shit. Let it, feel it. See the shadow. Do what you need to do to process it. But then let it move through you and direct yourself towards love and forgiveness as quickly as possible so we can get through this next cycle together more unified. Get the help we need to the people that need it. Help ourselves. Nourish yourself. And I've been hearing about survivors' guilt, and I know that's a thing, but man, guilt is taught by religion and the church. Get off of that. Guilt serves no purpose other than to control you and keep you in a lower vibration. There is no need to feel guilty. If you have, do what you have. We all feel shit, man. Right now, we're just seeing a big portion of our brothers and sisters feeling it. But if you have, and you're comfortable and you're safe, be grateful. Do your job and practice gratitude. Don't get into the guilt, because the guilt serves no one. But gratitude serves everyone. And gratitude will get you and the people that you're grateful for quicker to where they want to be. So don't live in guilt. Get that shit out. Again, that's a form of illusion. That's a form of an energy that's able to suck and take your energy and feed off of that negativity. Watch Monsters, Inc. Disney's Monsters, Inc. True story. They're telling you straight up. They feed off of fear. That's what generates the cities that live underneath. But at the end of the movie, what did they discover? It's laughter, it's joy. It's way more powerful than fucking fear. Don't let any energy or entity feed off your fear. I know it's hard. Manage your mind. This is what's needed right now with this trine energy. Set some intention, do some alchemaic work right now. Take some apple cider vinegar, some things that are going to alkaline yourself. Get from acidic to alkaline. This is a chemistry game. This is also Scorpio. With the moon in Scorpio right next to Venus in Scorpio, it's going to help you remember to use the chemicals wisely. Don't imbibe with the spirits unless you know what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm talking about. It's easy to escape right now. With the pain and suffering we're witnessing, it's easy to escape. Stay in your bodies, please. Don't jump the ship and then let any entity come and steer the ship, because that's how it happens. That's how I've seen it anyway, being a bartender for 25 years. Inebriation is when you're dominated by other spirits, and I've seen it. Just manage your mind, stay in your heart, stay in your practice. That's the best thing that I'm being told we can do. If you can't go out there and give supplies, if you can't go out, if you're not in a position to do these things financially or physically because you're sick, because you've been fucking poisoned with your food and the chemicals, I get it. But you still have this. So direct your mind towards love and forgiveness, please. Again, don't bypass the anger. I'm not asking you to do that, but I am asking you to do your tools. Scorpio moon, use the chemistry. Create lead into gold, because we're bringing in the golden age right now. What we do today will influence our future. The past is gone, but we're looking at the past really clearly to see how we've been lied to about the past, and how thinking of the past was one way created the reality we're in now, and it's all a lie, or most of it is anyway. So the lie will set you free, but first it will piss you off. So again, Mars in Cancer, feel that anger, but let it move through you, and let's get to more solutions. This is what we need. Soul-lution. Use your soul. Tune into your soul to what the next and best expression, the next movement, the next action you take. Let that be soul-based. Not in reaction or anger-based, because you're going to create more distortion. That's how we've gotten into this mess to begin with. We're in a frequency war. Manage your mind. Learn how your brain works. Learn what a creative life force powerhouse you are. I know you've been taught different. You've been indoctrinated to believe that you're a piece of shit and you're born in original sin, right? You're born into a caste system that way. A trained mental caste system. We're breaking free from that. I love you, family. My best advice, what I'm doing, what I'm being called to do, is just to take care of myself, keep cleaning my vessel, keep doing the things that I know that help me manage my mind, that help me stay in my heart, that help me stay embodied. I'm real careful with what I imbibe with what I watch on television, with who I talk to. I mean, I get down the rabbit holes too. Shit, don't get me wrong. I get fresh. I come across some things and I get all fired up, right? Again, got a lot of Scorpio in my chart and come from a war tribe, energetically anyway. But that's changing. It has to, because I've come here to learn how to be peaceful. And the only way I'm going to do that is through forgiveness. So I got to see everything that I need to forgive and do the work. It is not easy, and it requires a lot of inner fortitude and perseverance through your own cognitive dissonance of what you don't want to see. But if you're willing to see it and you're willing to stay steadfast and move through it, Get out of it pretty quickly. Don't linger. Don't harangue yourself in the dark too long. See it, view it, do the work to alchemize, and get the fuck out of it. Move on to the next. Let's get into the solutions now. This is what we need. We need your minds in the game of love. Don't get luged in the dark any longer than you need to. All right. I'm going to go ground, do my thing, hydrate, pet my dog Tanner because he's asking for attention. It's what I know to do right now. I love you, family. You're not alone. We got this. We've got each other. Do what's in front of you to do. Do it with your heart. Yeah. I love you guys. Bye.